Hello, and welcome to this webinar series brought to you by Saskatchewan Crop Insurance Corporation. My name is Jody Griffin, and I'm the Program Coordinator for the Western Livestock Price Insurance Program. Today, we're going to be talking about the settlement portion of the Western Livestock Price Insurance Program. As we head into fall, it's a very busy time for cattle producers. Weaning time is coming. We're going to be sending calves to market. It's also the busiest time for the Western Livestock Price Insurance Program, as we have a lot of participants in that program that have purchased calf insurance for 2020. We also have quite a few first-time participants in this program, so I really hope that you guys are able to receive some value out of what we're going to discuss here today. So let's get started. So some of the things we're going to talk about is what to consider during your settlement period, how to make a claim, and what the settlement data is and how we're collecting it, just to kind of give you a better understanding of that settlement price that you're watching on a week-by-week basis. So how do I know if I'm in a claim position for my livestock insurance? Well, I'm glad you asked. So this is an example of a 12-week policy. When you purchase your WLPIP policy, that becomes your effective date. But the most important part of that policy is in those final 4 weeks. We call that your claim window. So in this example of a 12-week policy, your claim window would be weeks 9, 10, 11, and the expiring week of week 12. So some of the things that you need to consider is, first off, revisit your policy. Get familiar with when your claim window is going to begin. Some of you out there may have multiple policies that are going to have multiple start dates. So it's super important to get back online, take a visit of those policies that you currently have in play. The other thing is to ensure that you're signed up to receive the WLPIP weekly emails. We will email you the settlement price and the premium tables each week. You also can visit our website at WLPIP.ca, where we publish the premiums and settlements every week as well. And you can find that information on the top right corner of the homepage. But most importantly, what's market conditions looking like for the fall of 2020? You know, we're in a time now where we have a lot of market information access that we didn't have a few years back. So, check out those internet sales that are, on the internet weekly. Visit your local auction mart, talk to the order buyers, join CanFax. Perhaps you, one of our livestock specialists with the Ministry of Agriculture. Or there's also Real Ag Cattle Market Report that's available for you to access online. These are just a few areas of sources of information where you can go to get that market data, but it definitely will help you to assist you with even understanding what our settlement index means. So let's get started here. The first thing that we need to do is come to the website, log in, and review our policies. Once you've logged in, you need to select the program in which you wish to view. Some of you may, as I said before, have multiple policies. You might have policies on the calf program as well as on the feeder program. So you can select either or. Once you're in there, you want to select the purchase. When you select that purchase, you will be able to review your policy to determine when your claim window begins. This policy example here shows that the policy was purchased on the 7th of May. It has an expiry date of October 26th. So that means the claim window start date is going to be October 1st for this particular policy. What's so important to know about your 4-week claim window is in the first 3 weeks of those 4 weeks of claim, you must physically manage that settlement price that is being offered to you. And what that means is that if there's a settlement price that is generating an indemnity or a settlement award for you, it is up to you to either call in and make a claim or go online and make a claim to be able to receive that. You can choose to settle a portion of the weight that you have insured, or you can settle all the weight that you have insured. It's completely up to you. If you choose not to do anything in those first 3 weeks, then what's going to happen is the system is automatically going to settle in the final week against the remaining weight that exists on that policy. And it's going to settle against that current week's price. So how to make a claim? Well, there's two ways that we encourage you to make a claim. Number one, you can just pick up the phone, call SCIC, and any SCIC representative can take a claim for you over the phone. This is a new initiative that came out in 2018 and is specific for our Saskatchewan producers. You know, the fall is busy for our producers, with trying to get your feed brought in for the winter, working those cattle. So if time is of the essence for you, just pick up the phone and somebody would gladly help you. If you're someone who does wish to use the online system, then you just need to go and visit our website to get logged in and to get started. So after you've logged in, you want to select the program again that you wish to view and make a claim on. From there, you are going to click the Search Business button. This is where you're going to put in your information to bring up your policies. After you have done that, you're going to be prompted to be able to select a claim, and you will click on that button over there on the right-hand side. Once you've done that, on this page, you can view the settlement index for your chosen region and begin to file a claim. Here's step one of the 3 steps that it takes to file that claim. Be mindful that it is being timed. The time that's allowed for you to be able to make these decisions is 20 minutes. If you are past that, it will time out and it won't complete the process for you, and you will be required to log off and log back in again. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to insert the weight that you wish to settle. From there, you're going to click Add and then click Next. After you've done that, you've been moved to step 2 of 3, and that's confirming and submitting your claim. This will show you the weight that you have requested to claim, along with the settlement index price and the estimated settlement award. So you click on the Submit this claim request, and it'll automatically generate for you a claim request confirmation. This confirmation shows that your request to claim has been made. If you've generated and settled all the weight that you have insured, you will see a settlement statement. And that means that will show you the settlement award that you are going to receive. And that means that a check is in the mail to you and will be along shortly. It might take a little while after the claim has been made for this settlement statement to be processed. But if you choose to select a portion of the weight that you want to claim, you will not receive a settlement statement until either all the weight has been lifted and settled against, or when the policy expires, whichever one occurs first. So that's the simple process of doing a claim online. Again, I encourage you at any time, if you've got questions, if you run into technical issues, please feel free to just pick up the phone and give us a call, and we'll help you navigate through your WLPIP claim process. So we're going to move on and talk about settlement prices. Where are those prices coming from that you're seeing each week? Well, our settlement price is derived from real sales data that we collect every week across the 3 western provinces of Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. We currently have 42 markets that report to us on a weekly basis, including the major electronic sales that we have online, such as Team and DLMS. Once that data is all received, then we're going to go through the data and we're going to do some cleaning and be forwarding that settlement price to you on Monday afternoons. We only publish on Monday afternoons, and I will talk about that a little bit later on here as we go along. But let's just kind of go through the cleaning process of what we do when all that sales data comes in. The first thing that happens specific to the calf and the feeder program is we're going to remove all the heifer data. We take out all the heifer data because just the same with the coverage that you have purchased is based on steer data, so the settlement price is also based on steer data. We're further going to filter that data and we're going to break it down into weight ranges. On the calf program, we pick up a 100-pound spread of value of which we will use. So that's 550s to 650s to make it an average 600-pound steer calf price that we are going to offer to you. Some of the other things that we will do on the CAP program is we do have some outlier rules. So what that means is at the bottom there, you can see that we say a 1 and 2 head drop. What that means is that when data comes in and we receive those lots, those single lots or 2 head lots. So for example, just to put that in perspective, if you're sitting in an auction mart and you're watching a single animal come into the ring or 2 animals come into the ring, well, we call those the outliers. You know, that they just deviate away from what we say is the average or the norm. So that is removed out of this system here. And we're also going to do a plus or minus 12% of the daily mean. And what that means there is that we will be examining the price fluctuation. So we will take the highest price, you know, those prices that maybe are just not the average of the bulk of the data that's been received. And same to speak to the low price. We'll remove the high and the low to make sure that what it is that we're offering up to you in a settlement index is reflective and responsive. Feeder program is pretty much similar to the CAF program, except for on the weight range, we're going to capture 200 pounds there. We're going to use a 750 to a 950 pound spread to get to an actual 850 pound steer. To get to that 850 pound steer, we are going to apply a slide. That slide changes every week because, as you know, if you've been somebody who's participated on internet sales or sold cattle privately, slides are always utilized and slides can change. So at any time, if you're looking for more information on how this works, or if you're looking for our market summary information that we utilize to come up with our settlement prices and our coverage, visit our website and click on the main page, go down on the main page and click on Market Summary. We update that every week for every specific program to give you the detail that kind of helps you understand the coverages that we're offering to you as well as the settlement. From an outlier perspective on the feeder program, it's pretty much the same as the CAF. We'll remove those outliers I spoke about before, and we also will do a plus or minus of the daily mean. It's 10% on the feeder and it's plus or minus 12% on the CAF. The Fed program is quite a bit different than the CAF and the feeder. For a lot of us producers out here, we know that we don't trade finished cattle in the regular auction market fashion any longer. So the source that we use for data there is coming from CanFax. Another thing that we're doing as far as data is concerned, and it's fairly new to WLPIP, is last year we launched the opportunity for producers who are finishing cattle to report directly, electronically, and confidentially to our program for us to be able to utilize down the road. We will use heifer data in the case of the Fed program, and it's a 60-40 ratio. The reason why we'll pick up heifer data at this point is because a lot of time on the finishing cattle end, heifers and steers will trade for the same value. So I'm just going to move on ahead here. Again, if you have any further questions about that, please feel free to give us a call or visit our website. So moving into the frequently asked questions, one of the questions that we get asked a lot is, why is the settlement price higher or lower than what I sold my cattle for, or than what my local auction market is selling cattle for? So it's super important to remember that this program is delivered in regions. So when you come to buy your coverage, you have 2 regions you can select from. You can select from the Alberta premium table or from the Saskatchewan Manitoba premium table. So those prices are being derived from multiple markets in those respective regions. So for example, here in Saskatchewan, when you purchase the coverage, it is going to be settled against the data that's being collected from 2 provinces of Saskatchewan and Manitoba. Another thing that's important to know is the way in which sources report their marketings. So some auction marts will report their pricing in different weight breaks than others. And that's super important because we know as producers that what, you know, a 5 to a 6 weight spread that gives you that 550, that price is quite a bit different than saying using your 5 to 650 weight range, or 550 to 650 range. So be cognitive of that when you are reading summary reports, and just take into consideration the weight ranges that we're using and collecting for the settlement price versus what's being reported out there from other sources. The other thing that's important to be mindful of is their cutoff time of reporting. In the case of Canfax takes reports right up until Thursday afternoons, where other markets, they might review the market in a week by week perspective right through a 7-day span. So it's important to kind of know, the time frames in which those markets are being reported. So as I alluded to before, that I would touch on as to why the claims are only on Monday afternoons. Well, the reason for that is because we collect data from the previous Monday through until the Saturday to formulate a settlement price. So when our actuary department comes into the office on Monday mornings, the first thing that they're doing is they're going to go and look at the data source that's been received over the weekend and begin going to work to do some of that cleaning process that I just showed you, to be able to get that settlement price out to you in a timely fashion in the afternoon. Now, the other thing for that is that it allows for the settlement price to be very responsive to current market conditions. We are all pretty familiar with how quickly this market can move on a week by week basis. And that's why claims are only available on Monday afternoons, because as we progress into the subsequent week, we know that there can be things that can happen in the market that can take that market in a different direction quite quickly. So we want to be responsive and be as responsive as possibly as the impact is to you, to the market fluctuations. Therefore, it's highly time sensitive, and only is offered up on that one day of Monday afternoon. So that was a pretty quick overview of how the settlements work for the Western Livestock Price Insurance Program. Again, I encourage you to give us a call at any time. We're here to help you with all the decisions that you are maybe wanting to make as far as purchasing coverage, or if you are, in that portion of your policy of wanting to make a claim. We're available Monday to Friday, 8 to 5, and we have 21 customer services offices across the province. So feel free to come in and visit us, and you could also visit our website at www.scic.ca.